When I was just a little girl, I asked my mommy, what would I be? No? You got sick face at me. Nothing.
What is that?
That's a song from the movie. It plays at the beginning.
Does not play.
It plays at the beginning and the end. Whatever. All right, hello, welcome back to the Yes to Hear podcast. My name is James. I'm joined by my extremely cool host, Beth. Beth, how are we doing tonight? I don't want to ask that question.
Well, I'm good.
Just
I'm great. I want to be here.
Cool. As always, if this is your first time joining us at the Yes to Hear podcast, thanks for tuning in. For those that are returning fans, thanks for coming back each week and listening. We do certainly appreciate it more than you know. Well, this week we have one of my childhood favorites called Heathers that we're going to be reviewing. It's a film that could have defined a generation had it not done so poorly at the box office. Actually, I think in some ways it ushered in the 90s with its version of teenage high school life, but it just didn't do well. These people had their own language when it came to expressing themselves.
Yeah, there are some things I've never heard before.
Yeah. We actually watched this movie so much as a kid. My sisters and I picked up a couple of the terms. We do tend to keep the podcast PG, so I'm not going to repeat the things that they say in this movie. But we'll just say we had the potty mouth. That's the best way to say. So this begs the question, Beth. Do you have a movie that you have ever emulated like that?
I don't know.
Like a movie like that you picked something up from, like a mannerism or a language or a saying or...
Man, my memory is so bad. I can't even remember like what I had to eat yesterday, let alone try and do some new hip thing from a movie. No.
Nothing from the Spider-Verse? Like any
Do I look like Spider-Man?
Well, sometimes you do. How do I know? Are Spider-Man and Peter Parker ever in the same place? Maybe Beth and Spider-Person aren't in the same place. I didn't say you dress.
No, I don't think so.
I didn't say you dress like him. Like, is there like a little phrase that he says or does or anything like that? Anything that you can think of?
I can't remember stuff like that.
Yeah?
I'm not like that.
Just not like that?
I can't.
Okay. All right.
And I don't even watch movies enough to do that.
I mean, I was just figuring like maybe on a TV show or just nothing, huh?
I don't have little one-liners.
Yeah.
All my stuff, like anything that I say is just not like that.
Yeah.
My humor isn't weird phrases that somebody says over and over again, like, did I do that? You know,
Hey. Hey. You know what that's from?
Yes.
Do
you know what that's from?
Yeah,
jerk.
That's Steve Urkel.
Yeah, I know who it is.
Blasphemy. Don't be mean to me. We just started. You can't be mean to me already. You have to give me a moment to do something stupid, and then you can be mean to me.
I gave you several moments.
Oh. All right. Well, I know that this is one of your shtick movies, so what was your initial impression of the movie?
What does that mean, shtick movies?
Well, you like this. You've seen it before, so it's not... Is it one of your favorites? Am I wrong?
Oh, I like this movie.
Yeah.
You know what a shtick is?
No.
Something you can do. It's like your shtick, like your funny thing, your go-to.
Yeah.
That's not correctly used in that phrase. It's your shtick movie. What?
What's one of your... Look, I'm not doing well tonight.
Oh,
My
no,
neck really hurts.
Oh, boo, 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 boo. Let's take a moment of silence.
Thank you. You keep that up, you're going to end up in the penny situation.
Stop saying that. That makes me so uncomfortable at work when you say that. I'm just talking to someone, and then you say you're going to end up in the penny situation, and I had to sit there and explain to him what that was, and that's weird.
Did you see his face?
Yeah, I saw his face. He was disgusted.
He laughed.
Yeah, well, he laughed, but like, uncomfortably.
Well, that's what he
I don't
gets.
want to be in this penny situation. Can't just talk to someone.
Oh no. So anyway, preview artwork. What did you think the movie was going to be like? Did you think it was going to be something you wanted to watch?
Well, I've never seen this movie before, so I didn't know what it was going to be like.
Did you watch the preview?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is a shtick movie of mine.
I coined that.
That's not how you use that phrase.
I don't know how to use phrases.
I was excited to watch this movie again.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See, I wasn't sure because you talk about... Excuse me.
Yeah, how about you do that in the mic next time?
I know.
Oh, wait.
I'm so sorry. I tried to turn my head, but it didn't
You
work
didn't
out.
turn at all.
I was like...
You looked at me and you went...
I know you say you like the musical, which I did not know existed.
Oh, yes, I love the musical for this.
Why do you sound so sarcastic?
Almost, that was genuine. I hate when you say stuff like that because it makes me feel bad about what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm
sorry. It makes me feel like I'm not putting enough emotion. I'm tired, okay?
Yeah.
Had a really long week, all right?
Standard
I like
7
the
days.
movie. I like the musical. I talked to you about the musical for hours.
Did you ever watch the TV show? Did you know there was a TV show?
No, I didn't even know there was a TV show.
See, it was very short-lived, and I actually, when I was doing the research for it, I actually wasn't sure if it actually ever came out. It looked like it did, and Shannon Doherty was in it, but I don't think it lasted very long. It was like, and it like was on one network and then another network, and then it just never came back, I guess.
What did you make a TV show about?
The Heathers.
Like before or after?
No, like different Heathers.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, man. So, what did you give the trailer? I mean, if you watched it, I mean, you were obviously already seen it, so.
Oh, I've already seen the trailer?
No, you've already seen the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The movie.
Well, I thought the trailer was funny.
Yeah?
But it was kind of a poor setup. I watched another trailer. It was like the 30-year anniversary trailer, which was much better than the original trailer.
Really?
Yeah. I would watch based off the trailer, though.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
What
about you? Did you watch the trailer?
Yeah, and I liked it. I thought it was... I liked because he's like, I was coming up here to kill you, you know.
Oh, we watched different trailers.
Oh. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I liked my trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you happen... You didn't watch it on the... Did you watch the DVD? No, you watched it on something else. The DVD had
on Hulu.
Trailers for other movies that were not good. Get out of here, Cat. They were not...
Cat's a special guest.
They were not quality movies.
Mm-hmm.
The Cat. Special... Yes, your podcast with special guest, the Cat. Hey, look, it's the Cat. Rub my belly. No.
I'm fat.
I'm fat.
You can relate.
Yeah, I can.
Me too.
No. So Heathers was released March 31st, 1989, and is billed as a dark comedy. Pretty dark comedy.
Mm.
The movie is about an intelligent teen that teams up with a dark sociopath in a plot to kill the cool kids of her high school. The film stars Winona Ryder, Christian Slater, and Shannon Doherty. Those, of course, there's other people that are in it, but those are the biggest players. From my point of view as a kid, this movie was awesome, but the movie was considered a flop at the box office. It had a budget of around $3 million and only ended up grossing around $1 million.
Ooh.
So not that good at all. Yeah, that's rough. Which kind of explains, as a kid, when you'd go rent videos, there would be certain kind of boxes that it would have. And this one had that specific, not a good movie box. And if anybody ever used to go rent videos, not from Blockbuster, but from like the mom and pop type stores, you'll know what I'm talking about. The boxes were different. Like Ice Pirates had a different box. It had this huge weird box.
Ice Pirates.
It's a really good movie. It's funny. It's funny. But it's called Ice Pirates. I can't think of another movie that had a really weird box. But anyways, it's here nor there. But it's just, it explains to me now why the movie was like that. And then, I guess why for Winona Ryder, a lot of people think of like Beetlejuice as her first movie, but that definitely, that wasn't her first. She was even in a movie called Welcome Home, Roxy Carmichael. I think that came out before this. So, you've never seen that either, I'm sure.
No.
But, after the fact, the movie did build a cult following. That's about as good as it gets for this movie, though. Fun fact about this movie is that Ram, the guy that played Ram, is played by the same actor that played Ralphie in the movie A Christmas Story. It's the movie that's on every year for like all day that you're always really complaining. Ralphie, the kid with the glasses. Yeah, that's him. Really, really weird, huh?
Well, good for him.
I know it's post-Christmas. and all, but I thought I would bring it up. It's just because.
Sounds like trivia. Are we at the end of the episode already?
Yeah, that's
wrap
it.
it up?
Wrap it up. No. The movie did spawn a musical and a television series, but the TV series did not really go anywhere. And as far as I can tell, the musical did pretty well in an off-Broadway production.
Yep.
So.
I like the musical a lot.
Yeah. That's weird. It's weird that it was a musical, I guess.
That's how I found it first, originally. Because this wasn't one of the movies that you showed me. I was watching, it was actually an animation of the musical on some app that I saw, and I was like, what is this? This song slaps. And I looked it up on YouTube, and I found the musical, and I was like listening to it, and then I watched the whole thing, and I came home, and I was talking about it to you, and you were like, the movie from like the 19 whatevers.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? There's a movie? It's based off a movie? So I actually listened to the musical first.
Yeah.
And then watched the movie.
Do you have
cool.
a comparison? Are they similar?
Very similar. The musical uses lines from the movie in the music. It's really cool. Yeah, it was interesting to watch after like listening to it, because it's like, oh, that's cool. But it starts off a little differently.
Yeah, it talks about Veronica. Go ahead. Yeah, her joining the group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you knew about it.
I was reading about it.
Mm-hmm. Did you listen to any of it?
Oh, no. No,
really
I did not. I will. I plan on it. I think I would like that because I like musicals.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I would enjoy this since I enjoy the movie, and you say the movie and it are so similar.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's really, really... The only thing is, like, so if you listen on... Like, if you were to listen on Spotify, you miss some parts of the musical because not all of the musical is singing, you know? So some of the movie, like, if you had to watch it, and then, like, you miss certain dialogue bits.
Yeah.
But you could be relatively satisfied just listening to, like, the Spotify playlist.
I would be happy to play it through on YouTube and watch it one night. I'm sure it's not that long. And the movie's like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem 2 hours long to me, the way that it goes. And I didn't even remember it being that long when I was watching it again. And I was like, 2 hour long.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend actually, and she said the same thing. She was like, it's one of those movies that you can watch and it doesn't feel like 2 hours. And I was like, yeah, but the time, it's still 2 hours. I still have to sit there for 2 hours and watch it, you know?
Still 2 hours.
It doesn't feel like it, but it is.
Right. Well, imagine doing what I do with that and stopping and all that kind of stopping, pausing, all that kind of stuff. It takes 2.5, 3 hours.
Well, I'm sorry, boo-hoo.
Oh, no, I love it.
Moment of silence.
Oh, moment of silence, my
Never
butt.
gonna complain. Maybe if you want to do a comparison, then the drawing takes me another hour and a half.
I love that.
It doesn't actually take me about 43 minutes.
I love the drawing this week. This is when I'm gonna get put on a shirt and everybody's gonna be like, why? What? Why do you have a beard and you're in a cheerleading outfit? I'm pretty. Call me Samson.
Call me Samson.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know who that is. Is that a shtick, a movie of yours? Oh, crap.
Yes. It's from Half Baked. Whatever.
Like the ice cream? Oh, that sounds so good.
You know what kind of? Yes.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, that is a good book.
I got really angry once because I got some before we went to work and I put it in the walk-in, and the walk-in's not the correct freezing temperatures.
No.
So I got home and all the brownie was at the bottom. So everything was at the bottom. So it was vanilla ice cream for most of it, and then it's like, okay, now you're hitting a little bit of the brownie and the cookie dough. But
oh, that sucks, man.
I was really disappointed.
Well, at least you didn't get somebody an ice cream cake for their birthday, and then you have to thaw it. Poor Tabby. She still ate it. She's a trooper.
I would have too.
I love her that she did that. You know,
I want a birthday cake this year.
But you don't want an ice cream cake.
I do want an ice cream cake.
No, you said you wanted the other kind of cake.
No, I was talking about how you made me the lemon cake that was all crummy.
Right,
the whole time.
But in order to decorate the top of the cake, it's not going to be able to be an ice cream cake. You can't decorate
you would put the ice cream cake, and then you would put... They decorate ice cream cakes, that's how you get them with the frosting on it. You just put the frog on it. Just frog eyes.
Oh.
That's what I want.
I thought you wanted mushrooms on
it. I do want mushrooms too. I want the whole shebang.
I want the whole shebang. You'll get the sha.
I don't want the. That's what I get every year. I don't want the. I want the bang this time. Oh, it's just sha. Man, I was so disappointed at that lemon cake because I was so hyped for it because you were making it.
Yeah.
And it smelled so good, and then you smeared the frosting on it and just fell apart.
Yeah, remember?
It looked like you were making cake pops.
I waited.
And then you put the candle on it. I was like, this is crap. I do want the candy loaders again this year.
Let me ask you this. Did you eat it?
I don't remember.
Yeah, you guys did. You ate the heck out of it. It just looked crap.
I don't remember having a lot of it.
Look and taste are two different things.
Right, no, but I don't remember eating much of it because it was hard to eat.
No, it wasn't.
It was all crummy.
It was just bitsy.
And I like having solid food, not smeared food. Food. Shebang.
I got you.
I wanted to make sure you understood. I know how your memory's shoddy these days.
What it is.
You know what? I actually talked to somebody about the ladybug cake you made that one time.
Oh my god, with the red food coloring. I made this. Tabby wanted this this ladybug cake, so I said, "All right, I'll do this." And I was making it, and I put the red food coloring in, but it just made it pink. So I was like, "Well, I guess I'll just have to add more food coloring to make it red." And well, it did, but it changed the flavor, and I did not know that food coloring had flavor.
There's some food colorings you can get without the flavor part of it.
Well, this had flavor, and let me tell. Yes, I did. And let me tell you,
you paid for it.
Oh my god! But do you remember?
I remember going into the little garage thing that we had with the second fridge and just eating like the Hershey drops off of it that you used for the little buttons, and just eating only that.
Yeah.
Because the rest of it was garbage.
It was horrible. It was horrible. Do you remember?
I remember how we won the big gator cake that one time.
I was about to bring
with
up.
the fondant, however you say that. And I was so excited because I loved like the Cake Boss show, and they always use it. I was like, I want to know what it tastes like. We won it, and we didn't ever get to eat any of it because you wouldn't let us.
I know, isn't that weird? You know, I thought about that.
Yeah, that was one of my core memories.
You know what? I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah, I remember being so sad because we would sit there and like dinner would come and pass. And we'd sit there with wide eyes and be like, "Can we have some now?" And you'd be like, "No, not tonight."
Right.
And we'd be like, "Oh,
but there
okay."
Was a reason.
Threw it out.
There was a reason, and then it got old, and we couldn't eat it anymore. But there was a reason that there was something else. There was a reason, but I can't remember what it was.
Well, it's not good enough because I wanted to eat that damn cake. And a couple of times I thought about just being bad and going there and eating it and being like, whatever, let's just have it. Or eating it, like literally we all wanted just to eat it out of the trash because we were like, we don't understand why. I just wanted to try it and never got to try it. And we won that cake
Tabby
out
did.
of like,
She put the raffle.
So many people.
Because
I won my little cupcakes and we ate all the cupcakes.
And we kept that container too.
Yeah, we did. I don't think we were supposed to return it.
To who?
Yeah, right? Not to the school. I'm not doing it. Because I did that cakewalk. I'm doing this cakewalk till I win. Every year we did that.
Yep.
And then I got the cupcakes, and I was so happy about the cupcakes. And then I just hear we got the giant gator cake.
Yep.
And we didn't get to eat any of it.
She wanted to put her raffle ticket into everything, and then she decided she wanted to do it for that. And she put it in there, and they called that number. I knew she was going to win it. As soon as she put that in, I said, oh, God, we're going to win this dang cake. It was so big. And then I was like, we had another cake. There was another cake that was there. And there was the muffins. And I think that's what it was. It was like you were eating the muffins and not the cake. And then the cake got old. And then I was like,
we weren't allowed to eat the cake. You told us we couldn't.
I can't remember why.
Tabby and I talk about it a lot.
Oh,
no, we did. We think about that a lot. Because it was one of the weirdest things. Like, because it's one of those moments where you just don't understand what your parents are thinking.
Yeah.
And because you wouldn't explain to us why we couldn't have it. So it's just like, because like if you had told us that there was like mold on it, we would have understood. We would have been like, okay, there's mold. But then you didn't even like try and make it up to us at all.
I cannot remember the reason. I know there was a reason that we did not, but I cannot think of what it was.
I don't remember.
Well, let me
really
say,
sad about it.
This is a formal apology for
it. Doesn't mean anything to me.
What the?
It doesn't change the fact. I still didn't get to. I have not tried fondant. Yeah.
I didn't think you were supposed to eat the fondant. I thought you peeled it up and
you're supposed to
ate
eat
the cake underneath.
It's
really?
It's like powder sugar. Yeah, because we almost made some in my culinary class one time. but it turned out horrible. I remember being really excited about it because I was like, finally, after this damn gator cake, I'm going to be able to try some of it. And then it turned horrible. And I was like, son of a... And I blame you.
Oh, wow.
I think about the gator cake a lot. Because I remember we had to put it out in the big trash can.
Yep.
And we had to walk out with you. It was like spiteful. And you were like,
I don't think
throw it
there
out in front of
was.
us. And I was like, I really am just about to eat this out of the trash.
I promise you there was a reason, but I cannot remember what it was. I don't remember. Well, this has been therapy with the Yes Year podcast.
Dude, I have so many really interesting like birthday cake stories. Like one of my earliest memories is coming home to like a little surprise thing where you guys had a cupcake on the oven, but all the lights were off and just the lights of the cupcake were on, or the candles.
Yeah.
And I remember being so excited about that cupcake because it was just for me. And that's all I can remember. And then I remember the gator cake, and I get so sad and so disappointed.
You know what? Life has
Can't
ups
win
and
them all.
downs.
And then I think about the lemon cake that was all broken. I have pictures of it.
Let me tell you this. There's two types of ways the world can go. It can be a roller coaster with up and downs, or it can be a merry-go-round that just goes round and round. That's boring. The ups and downs is fun.
If it just goes round and round, you're not going down.
Yeah, you're just going round and round.
Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, you get out of here. You ready to get into this movie?
Seems like life's more downs than ups recently.
Ew.
Oh. Anyways, so I want the ice cream cake, and I want the frogs on it, and I want the thing.
Let me ask you this: what if it's a cake with the whipped topping? So not the butter topping, but the whipped topping, the good icing, and not an ice cream cake.
I want ice cream cake.
But what if it's not?
Well, then I'm going to be a little disappointed.
But I can't decorate the frog. So
okay,
what if I have to
I'm just saying, what if you get the one of the ones from Kroger, okay? And you just put green frosting in a pipe bag, and you just put it on there and little do like that the image was. It wasn't anything special, and then you put the little candy eyes on it, and you put do the same thing with the mushrooms, and then
I
just write
can't
my
make
name
mushrooms.
out. You do like flat mushrooms, where you just do brown and the red.
Oh, Beth, I think
I feel like
you're
it really wouldn't
expecting
be that
a lot
hard.
out of me.
I feel like, you set up a lot of expectations after the ladybug cake because you put a lot of work into that ladybug cake for her.
Yeah.
And you also did like the continent cake with that little world map thing that one time.
I remember that.
Which was amazing. And I got shabby little lemon cake that fell apart in front of my eyes. So I don't want to hear a lot of expect from me because I don't get anything. The bar's really low.
I forgot about the world cake, or the map cake. We did. That was really neat.
I think about it a lot too. I brought that one up too. When we talk about the cakes that we fun down, I brought that one up as well. I was like, yeah, no, my father doesn't care about my birthday cake. They are always terrible.
But you know what?
But you talk about anybody else.
Let's talk about this. Wow, we are so off topic. Your birthday lands at a sweet spot for us having money.
And yet I still don't get any presents.
You have always had better birthdays.
That is not true.
Than anybody else.
That is not. The last 3 years, my friends have done something for me. Autumn got me Jell-O. Autumn was the only person who got me presents my freshman year.
Yeah.
Because she got me all that Jell-O because I was sad and I complained about it. I said, no, I didn't get anything this year because my parents hate me. And actually, you guys took me out to dinner and I didn't even get dessert. I was so frustrated. I was like, maybe we're going to go to Dairy Queen. Maybe they just wanted to do something cheaper because we're with money and everything. And I was like, that's fine with me. And I'm sitting in the back seat crying because I'm like, we're going home. So we turned on the street and I was like, we're going home right now. And I was like, really? Nothing? And then there was no explanation. It was like, good night. That was horrible. And I called Autumn and I was like, I didn't even get ice cream. I love ice cream.
They don't have ice cream there.
No, Smoky Bones, they had the dessert and we didn't get it because Mom didn't want it. It's not your birthday. It's my birthday. I wanted it. That's why I picked the place. Okay? So Autumn came, she bought me cookie dough ice cream and like 50 Jell-O packs. And I have pictures of it all because I was so excited. And the year after, she did something similar. It was a little smaller, but it was like still something. And then last year, Sydney and Tara went and they got me a lemon cake, little like, lemon bread slices, like a little goat thing, a card, and then we drove around for a couple hours. Yeah. And we took Polaroid pictures. And that was my birthday. You guys don't do anything for me.
I'll do it this year. We're doing it this year.
Oh.
And this will be the best year. Mm-hmm. You got a card, don't you?
I remember turning 16 and I was like, okay, this is supposed to be good. Got a slap on the ass. I don't want to hear that you used jackass last episode. And I told
jackass
you give me rope.
It's different.
No, because ass still means donkey.
A slap on the donkey.
A slap on the donkey. Eeyore. I'm on the verge of tears.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, it is sad. Because I get you something every year for your birthday.
I know. But I get you little things throughout the year. Say that I don't.
You want to talk about the free army chicken nuggets that you get me? I will not have that. I will not have that.
All right, so let's just say this. Let's put it to the audience.
Okay.
I go to McDonald's. I have coupons. I can do a $2 off coupon and just get the food that we have, or I can use the get the free meal for my daughter.
Yes, but you're not going to come home with your free meal and rub it in my face and say, oh, I get you the free stuff.
No, but I think about you. See?
Oh, so warm.
But it wasn't just that I was thinking about.
But then
it's just little things, like, just like you do for me. You know, like when you bring me like a little candy bar.
Yes.
And it's like,
which I do every time I go to the gas station.
Or like to get you the Subway. I don't have to, but I do that because I love you.
Mm-hmm. Well, when my birthday comes around, on the day that it matters the most, and I get squat nothing.
Does that really matter the most?
Yes, it does.
Wow.
Because we don't do Christmas.
We did this year. You got stuff?
If there's not a tree up and no decorations up, we're not doing Christmas.
Okay.
And if things aren't wrapped, we're not doing Christmas.
Well, it comes
you
in
just
a
hand me
box or a
something to me and be like, this is for you. That's not Christmas. Okay?
Yeah.
No, that's just giving.
All right. Well, we do Thanksgiving several times during the year.
I don't even like that much. I don't eat Thanksgiving. I don't like pies.
I'm not talking about the food. I'm talking about giving.
Oh my God.
I just thanks.
Oh God, the cat's still here. It scared me. Stop looking at me.
Thanks for giving you something.
Tabby gets like dogs and animals on her birthday. And she gets like every time she gets these really whack things. That's true. That is very true. And she gets crazy, extravagant things. And it's like, I always sit there and I'm like, what the hell?
Man,
and then it's like a slap in the face that you just told me that like my birthday falls on a sweet spot where we have money and we don't do anything for me.
That's because you're not remembering.
Oh, I'm not? Mm-hmm.
No.
So you tell me what I cried about last 3 years. Oh,
okay, so you're saying
when I was in 5th grade?
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Other people didn't get that. I'm telling you, Beth, you just don't remember.
No, and you know why other people didn't get that? Because people were liars and got their birthdays taken away.
Well,
I remember that.
All right, we're way off.
You know, it's because you just want to look good.
I don't want to
look like a good father. If you take care of your kids properly and you give them good birthdays, I don't want surprise birthdays.
Yeah.
I would just here's a gift. Like you guys got Tabby things for her birthday last year.
Yeah. I don't remember that.
No, you did, because she came up to me and she was like, let me show you everything Dad got me. And I was like, because she asked. That's why. And that's what you told me. She's like, well, she asked for things.
Oh, that's fair.
I ask for things all year. I'm constantly begging.
But I give.
I stay begging tree. Giving tree? No, begging tree. Give me your money.
I'm just.
You come up to me for a wall, I'm gonna rob you.
Well, you said you want the cake this week.
Yeah, I want this week.
This year.
Yes, you have 2 months. I want the cake.
So we'll see about the cake. And is there something else?
Oh, I don't know. Do you know your kids? Clearly not.
It's not about I get you like a little lamb.
And I get you. I saw that. I had a good conversation actually with your sisters about this. About obligatory gift giving. Obligatory. Sorry, I don't say things correctly. And it's more of I don't want you to get me something because it's my birthday. I want you to be able to go out and see things and be like, you know what? This is something Beth would like. And hold on to it. No. Oh. You send me pictures of things that I would like, and you don't get them. It's like slap in the face.
Is that not the
same?
Like
basically, here's things that you can get yourself. What the hell?
But I'm thinking about you. See, I'm about the thought. I like that somebody
I'm thinking about you, but I'm not going to get you anything ever.
Oh, whatever, man.
I want you to be able to be like, okay, I know my kid well enough. She talks to me all the time about different things that she's interested in.
Yeah.
And get, I
just feel like I get you.
I think
I feel like you have stuff that you want.
There's one thing that comes to mind when I think about, like, anything that you really surprised me with, where you were like, no, I think this is something that she would like that I didn't even talk to you about wanting, and that is the tablet. That one Christmas. I opened that, and I was so happy for getting that.
Right.
Because I hadn't said anything. I hadn't even done anything, but because I was doing the thing that I had shown you what I was doing with my little mouse pad. You got me that. And that is what I'm talking about. Being able to take something and doing something bigger with it.
Yeah.
The car radio does not count as like a Christmas gift to me because that was something I asked for before I got the car. That was something I wanted fixed before I even had that done. And you told me that you were going to fix it. And I got to the point where I couldn't even use the thing anymore, so you got the new one.
Yeah.
But it was something that I would have bought myself eventually. I was saving up for it. And I would have come to you with the money and been like, help me pick out a good radio for this, because I don't know jack anything about this. But that doesn't... No. The Muth thing's cool, the locale tipper.
Yeah.
Because that is something that I talked about before that you had gotten... And that's what I got. So that was cool. I enjoyed that. That seemed like the gift to me.
Cool.
So that's what I mean. But me sitting here being like, I'm really hungry. Wish I had Milky Way. And you go out and you get a Milky Way.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, here you go. Or you take a picture of it and you send it to me. Oh, look what I see.
Well, I was thinking about the Squigglers the other day. And saying,
did you get them?
But they don't have them, though. But I always think about you. That's where it's important.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't think you're getting my point.
I get what you're saying.
Like when Father's Day came around.
Yeah.
When I went after the day after I'd flown in back here. I went shopping for the Secret Santa, and it was the same day that it was Father's Day, and I didn't even see you all day. Like I didn't see you at all that day. It was the day after that I got you the stuff. But I went and I was like, you know what? I have to get my dad something, and I got you those Crunch donuts because I knew you liked them because I've seen you eating them and you talked about how you like them. But it wasn't me asking you, hey, what do you want for Father's Day? It was me knowing what you would have wanted or something small that I could forward with my small salary. Also, that reminds me, how do I get my tax return? When do those come in? Because the TurboTax keeps emailing me, and I'm just like, I really want my money.
We have to log you in and do all that. Yeah. So full circle.
And I think it relates to the movie because her parents are awful, and they just don't listen to her. So
you're comparing me to her parents? Oh my!
It's like you don't hear me when I talk to you about you.
I hear you.
I feel like you don't, because then you're all like, "Oh no, I'm a saint." No,
I don't think I'm a saint, man.
Like,
I just think I'm doing the best I can.
Remembering things you're wrong.
But I think that you don't. I don't think that you remember things wrong. I just don't think that you remember everything. I mean, you've gotten so much. So, whatever.
Right. As long as I have a roof over my head, I'm happy.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Well, my sister has a mansion.
Oh, your sister.
The youngest.
So.
Me, the middle child.
The loved. You, We begin the movie with these three girls playing croquet and having a good time, being pretty. Oh my
gosh, it's already like an hour.
I know.
I'm so tired.
Rich.
I wish this was vodka.
You know how rough that would be if that was vodka?
That's what I drank. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not true. That's what I would have drunk with Sprite, and it was like about this big, and I just the whole night.
Straight vodka, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's Sprite. Sick. It's pretty good. I wouldn't know though, because I've never had it. You know when you make jokes sometimes, and the people bring that, like they actually do it for you, and you're like, oh God, that was one of those times. And I was stressed. So.
The three girls playing and being pretty and having just their rich life. The three girls are named Heather, and they take turns hitting their balls at a target, which ends up to be a girl buried up to her neck in the yard. Which, that seems like that would have been tough to do. Whatever. We get a voiceover from the girl who was writing in her diary. Her name is Veronica, and her
handwriting was terrible. Did you see? It's all big and horrible.
I mean, I can't judge handwriting. You know what my handwriting looks like. But it was bad.
Like, at least mine can fit at least a paragraph on a page. Hers was like 3 words per page.
You know what? When she was writing the suicide note, she was like at the bottom almost, and it was like still going on. Mm-hmm. I was like, "Are you gonna flip over?" Anyway. So her name is Veronica. She seems to be joining their little club of Heathers, although she is on the outskirts in a way. Because she's not a Heather, she's a Veronica. She is beckoned by Heather 1, and by the way, I'm going to be using Heather 1, Heather 2, Heather 3.
I would use Heather Red, Heather Green, Heather Yellow.
All right, I'll try and do that when I see
1, 2, 3 is going to be confusing. How do I know which one's which?
Okay, well, Heather Red beckons her to write a note to a popular boy, or from a popular boy in his handwriting, to a girl they call Martha Dumptruck. Poor Martha.
You almost said poor dump truck.
I did almost say poor Dumptruck. Veronica does not want to do it, but is basically forced to. So she does, and Heather Yellow slips it onto Martha's lunch tray. The Heathers and Veronica come up with a lunchtime poll to take as the boy looks on at them from like the corner. He's all dressed in black and he's just kind of seethy looking. Veronica bumps into Betty Finn, who seems to be an old friend of Veronica's, but clearly they are not that close anymore. Heather Red pulls her away and is like, no. So they take their poll around to the popular kids and ask it, but Veronica thinks it's crap that they don't ask everyone. And the Heather Red is kind of like, why do we want to talk to these people? But they do. Heather agrees to do it, and they talk to everyone, and Veronica wants to, and they get some pretty crap answers. I mean, some of them are just really bad.
What would you do?
Which one is
so
that?
The question is, if you were to win $50 million, the same day aliens come and say they're going to blow the world up in 2 days, what do you do with the money?
I would probably be relatively selfish and take my family and go do something really fun.
Well, things are probably going to be closed, don't you think?
I'm going to do the best we can. I mean, yeah, who's going to work? If you're telling me I'm dead in 2 days anyways, why am I going to go run Disney World?
The thing is, I think that what would happen is complete anarchy, and everyone's going to just... I think I would take the money and try to go to like a space station and be like, let's go to Mars. You know, you're putting me on this space, we're going to go. Or I would just want to die.
Maybe I try and give the $50,000 to the aliens and say, hey, don't blow up the world.
What does our money mean to them?
Maybe they eat it. Maybe it's food for them.
That would be really cute. Like a vending machine?
Right. Take me to your leader.
No, I wouldn't do that. What if that's really offensive? What if they're highly intelligent people and like they don't even look like our normal aliens? They look like other people and they're just like, yo.
We don't talk like that.
We want to die. I don't know we want to die, but we want to take over your world or blow it up or whatever just for the hell of it. I feel like they wouldn't come down. I feel like they'd be like Star Wars and they would just blow it up.
Yeah.
Death Star style.
Yeah, probably. Death Star style. Thank you so much. In the meantime, Martha finds the note and approaches the boy who supposedly wrote it, and they burst out laughing at her, causing her to run out of the lunchroom, which, again, is sad. I mean,
I don't think I would come up to him. I think I would just take the letter home.
There's no way I would have done that. There's no...
I would have told somebody. I would have been like, yo, look at what this name...
Handwriting or not, there's no way that I would think something like that was real. And if it's real, they'll pursue again. You know, if not, I'm not going. I'm definitely not going to walk over in the middle of the lunchroom in front of everybody and
hand them the letter back, you know, like what?
Yeah. So Veronica is less than pleased. So Heather Red gives her heck about not being fun anymore. In the bathroom, Heather, did you say blue? Is number
green.
3?
No, yellow.
That's
green
right.
is the one thrown up.
Veronica's blue.
Heather Duke is the one thrown up.
Yep. Heather Green asked Veronica to help her barf her lunch up, which is sad and gross at the same time because bulimia is not funny. So they return to the lunchroom and Veronica asks Jason Dean, a new kid, the lunchtime poll as a way to meet him. He answers in a way that pleases Veronica, which does not please these two jocks at all. So the jocks go over to bully him, and he stands up with a big gun and acts like he shoots them, which would not go over well at all in today's...
Yeah, no. You would have been expelled immediately at my school.
You'd be arrested.
The one guy that I knew was expelled for he did, what's the word? Like coded, but it's like hidden messages, but it's like when you...
Incognito?
No, it's like when you type something, but it's in
cryptic.
It was like cryptic message. No. You know, like 1001 type stuff, but whatever that's code called. They typed it like that, and because he was taking this class, and it was like a bomb threat, but it was supposed to be funny, like to the friends, you know, it'd be
But
like,
not funny.
But the teacher came up behind him and decoded it from behind him.
Oh no!
Like we all got put in lockdown, and we didn't know what was going on. And then they're like, "Okay, you're fine," because he was like, "I'm just kidding," and then they expelled him.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a whole court case and everything about it.
Wow.
Yeah, and
So
the really funny part is that we had dated before.
Well, that's fun.
So I was like, oh, good, that looks really quality on my end. You know, date the guy who got expelled for bomb threats.
Oh, Elizabeth.
So that's why I like this movie, because it's kind of funny. I would have saw that, like, she was right there pretty much. And I would have seen that and would be like, maybe this isn't the one I go for. But if, you know, if we were at the 7-Eleven and he was there, I would have been like, all right, well, let's see what's... They were blanks.
Right.
I'd be defending.
Yeah, the Heathers and Veronica discuss the situation while playing croquet, and Heather Red plays for the kill against Heather Green. She sends her ball flying, and it looks like an impossible shot, but Heather Green manages to recover. They also discuss how Heather Red is taking Veronica to a Remington party that night, and that it will make or break Veronica's social life. Heather Red then goes after Heather Green's ball again to knock her out of the game, just to be a jerk, because she's like, why? Like,
why not?
Why not? And I felt that. I think, you know what's good about this movie is that you kind of, if you really watch it, you can kind of see who you want to be like as a person. Like, you know, who are you in life? Are you a Heather 1, a Heather 2, a Heather 3? Are you a Veronica? Are you a Martha? You know, who are you? You know what I'm saying? That it seems like it really represents
Who do you think you'd
people.
Society. This is society. Society. Who do you think you are? And don't be good. You know, don't be nice about yourself.
I was going to say humble. I'm probably a Martha.
You're not nice.
No.
And her fatness shouldn't define who she is. In the character. She was shy and nice.
Oh, then I would probably say I'm a Heather 1. A Heather Red. You know?
But her actions were smart. She was trying to make herself successful. All her actions to her own mind they were justified because it was helping her get higher in the stands. I'd say you probably were like a Ram or a Kurt.
Oh.
A jerk like that.
Okay. You know what?
When you talk about like your high school, I mean like your high school days. That's what I'm trying to think about. Not now.
Yeah, that's fair. I'd like to think that I was a JD, but I was probably more of a Ram.
JD's crazy.
Yeah.
And really angsty.
Yeah.
And you didn't give me that vibe when you talked about that.
No. So Veronica's parents show up and tell Heather too that her mom is there, and all the Heathers leave. Veronica joins her parents for a small snack and to discuss prom, as well as have small banter. I like this. Like the dad's like, "Why do I do these things? Because you're an idiot." Oh yeah. You too.
You too. Yeah, that was
every time. Veronica says she has to go or has to motor if she's going to get ready for the Remington party. She stops to get corn nuts for Heather Red and runs into JD. They have a discussion about how he moves around a lot and how he did what he did at lunch to be extreme and to make an impression. He also talks about who his dad is as a big-time construction guy and that they move around a lot. And Veronica's like, that must be rough on you. Veronica says her life is not perfect and that she doesn't really like her friends. JD says maybe it's time to take a vacation. We then get a cutscene between Veronica writing in her diary and the Remington party. We see that Veronica is not at all going along with these guys and Heather Red and how they expect her to be. She goes on about how killing Heather Red would be like offing the Wicked Witch. While at the party, Veronica pukes up, which really pisses Heather off. And she says she's going to ruin Veronica's social life on Monday at school. And she's like, you can go to Jefferson, go to another one. You're transfer schools because your life here is done. Veronica finishes writing and tosses the diary just as JD shows up, who just crawls in her window.
Yeah. Which I don't think I'd be okay with.
No.
You know, sometimes I think I was like, oh, romantic. But then I was like, no. What? Because, like, most of the time, I'm just, like, laying out. Like...
Yeah.
You know those memes where it's like when you open the camera app and it runs like your face so close and you're all scrunched up. That's pretty much how I look all the time.
It's just not your best game.
No.
Not your best find me laying here.
I think that in middle school I was more of a Heather Red.
Okay.
Yeah, I used people for my own benefit and didn't care about anyone else's opinion. And I was like that. I was like, I will have your life here will be done. And I had that kind of power, and it was very nice.
Yeah.
But I think now I'm more of a Veronica, where I'm kind of like, yeah, we can do some things, but there's a line, and I like giving everyone a chance.
Yeah.
So I like that she gives, like, Martha a chance and everything, and then her other friends. I like giving everyone a chance, because, like, some people are really cool,
Yeah.
So.
That's cool. That's nice.
I just wanted to comment on it, because you didn't ask me.
I didn't ask you. I'm so sorry. You know what I meant to? Mm-hmm. My mind's a flutter. You have me exacerbated because...
It's one of the examples of thinking about somebody else, being considerate. Like you always
Oh, you make my eyes... I'm just going to push them into my skull. So...
those, like, cups that you can get your dad as, like, father of the year, like, best dad ever?
Do you remember the one you got me?
The
grandpa one, because they were out of the other one. I still have that.
Yeah.
It's in my memory box. Mm-hmm. I love that cup. I love that you still got me something. You just don't know, man.
I still got you something. That's my point. I still got you something.
So, JD and Veronica decide to play a game of strip croquet and seem to hook up. But, that's nice enough seeing croquette.
Croquet.
I said croquet.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. They talk about school. What?
Crush it.
Crush it. Crotch it.
Crush it.
That's crochet, not croquet.
Have you ever played croquet?
Yeah.
Have you ever played croquet?
I played both.
Mm-hmm. I've never played it. Doesn't look fun.
There's also a game called Bocce Ball that's kind of like it. That's really fun. It's really fun. You would really enjoy it.
I think I would just hit people with the hammers. Like, I'd go right for your shin.
That's not what you're supposed to do.
I think that's what I would do.
That's the Shining style.
That's true.
So, the book, not the movie.
I don't know. You're saying that's true.
I appreciate you. They talk about school and how Heather deserves to die. Veronica says that she wants to see Heather puke, so the next morning they go to Heather's to give her something gross to drink. She tries to mix up milk and orange juice, but JD keeps trying to give Heather whole cleaner, which is like Drano. Mm-hmm. They think about hawking up a loogie to put into the drink, but neither can do it. So Veronica and JD kiss, and Veronica grabs the wrong cup with the whole cleaner in it.
Now, I have a problem about that. The wrong cup, right, but he put the lid on his, and hers did not have the lid, and she felt for the lid.
Right.
She grabbed the lid.
Oh,
so she knew what she was doing.
When I say wrong, I'm saying wrong is in between what she mixed and what he mixed. She absolutely meant to do it.
Yeah.
I have no doubt in my mind with that. So they take that to Heather Red. At first she refuses, but then she drinks it after they basically call her chicken. Because she was like, "Wait, you think you're going to call me chicken? I'm going to drink. Just give me the drink." She starts to hack and choke, and after drinking it, says corn nuts, and then crashes through a glass table.
Famous last words.
Right. Veronica and JD are all kinds of shocked and not knowing what to do. So JD comes up with the idea that they should fake a suicide note. Veronica is able to match people's handwriting to a T, so she actually goes along with it and writes the note. We then, what's funny is she says, have you done this before?
Yeah.
And it makes me think, after watching again, maybe he has. Because he moves around a lot. Who knows? Yeah. We then see that school staff deciding what to do in the wake of the suicide. Everyone has a different opinion of what to do and decide to give an hour off of school. Yay, an hour. Heather Green seems to actually be happier and is eating food. So that's good for her to a point. Veronica isn't doing so well and goes to sit in the shower fully clothed. In the touchy-feely teacher's class, she has the note that Veronica forged for Heather Red, and they discuss it while Veronica listens on. She laughs at the one kid's answer, but then acts like she was crying.
She was like, "I now know that I'm not boring." But
Right.
and said that she was just unsatisfied with life.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're boring, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And she's all. So Veronica and JD are at his house watching all the network coverage of the suicide when his father comes in. They have a really awkward conversation and even mention the last time that JD saw his mom, like waving at it from a building before it blew up.
You know, and I always thought that maybe like the dad had killed the mom. And
Yeah.
because I hadn't remembered exactly how it went. And I remember I watched it again. And like obviously the mom killed herself.
Yeah.
You know. But like the dad seemed to have a harder time talking about it than he does. Like JD was making like jokes and like just whatever. But the dad was like, bro, stop. You know,
Yeah.
he was not happy with it.
No. At Veronica's house, she has a quick snack with her parents again, and then goes to Heather Red's funeral because she's like, "Oh, great pate, but I have to motor if I'm going to make the funeral." She's there with JD, and we get to hear everyone's inner voice as they view the body,
This was so funny.
which was really, really funny. Everybody's reveal of who they really are inside. Heather Green reveals she is actually really happy that Heather is dead. She's like, "All my prayers, you must have heard me." After the funeral, Heather Yellow asks Veronica to go on a double date with her, and Veronica reluctantly accepts. The two guys they are supposed to go with, Kurt and Ram, are talking when these two geek kids walk by and one steps on Kurt's foot. I believe it's Kurt's foot. They end up attacking them and beating one of them up, and JD sees the situation and like looks mad and pleased because he's riding by on his motorcycle and like they kind of make eye contact. But I feel really bad for those kids, but then,
They have to like stand up for the first time ever in their lives, and then yeah, gotta have some bark if you're gonna. I mean, some bite if you're gonna go with the bark. You know, can't just be all bark.
No, and you might think that you're in a situation where you can do that kind of stuff, but no, you have to know your limits.
Yep.
So, they end up attacking them and beating one of them up. Like I said,
You know, you never know. Sometimes it can go two ways, like he does in Footloose. He starts talking to the dude, and the guy's like, "Let's be friends."
That's true. He did. He's like, "Oh, where you get that hat? Can you get another one?"
Yeah.
Veronica agrees to the double date as long as it's not going to be a night where they get drunk and take them on to a pasture to tip cows. Heather says it won't be, and lo and behold, that's exactly what ends up happening.
I would have loved that. I would have loved it. I would have felt bad for the cows, but I would have liked it. I'd been like,
Ditto,
yeah.
which is really horrible. Apparently, no. So I've never been, but I've talked about it with friends. Apparently, the cows don't just lay there after you tip them. They get up and chase you. Like, they're mad, and they get up, and they will run you down.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what my friend said. They're like, yeah, it's not really that fun because the cow. I was like, oh, I never thought about that. I just figured that you do it, and the cow would just lay there. Yeah, no, they get up, and they're like, moo, you're done.
Boo. You know, I always think of the one scene from Cars where the tractors are in the field, and they make loud, they honk at them, and then it wakes up, and then they tip over like.
Oh, no, I don't remember that.
Well, everyone else who has watched Cars remembers it.
Well, good for them. I don't remember it.
Movies are terrible.
I'm not a fan of.
Never feel bad. I mean, never feel good for him.
I don't like it.
Feel bad when the one car died.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't remember a car dying either. I watched that movie. I don't.
It wasn't in the first movie.
Oh, okay.
It was the third.
I just remember.
Since the voice actor died, and they had to kill it off.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Boy, that's depressing.
Yeah, and then it gets really sad because there's one movie where they're like, yeah, I know your whole shtick is that you're the fastest car. I wanted to use it correctly.
Oh, thank you so much.
Your whole shtick is that you're the fastest ever, always.
Speed McQueen.
And then they talk about how they get electric cars. And then they're much faster than his poor little regular gas.
Wow.
So they talk about, like, he gives this thing and he's like, oh, well, I can still beat them because I'm fast. And he does not win. It ends up turning into a story where he's kind of like the new Doc. That's the car that died. He's like the new one for this for this other car who he ends up helping race.
Oh.
But she's electric.
Boogie, woogie, woogie. And that's not my fault.
She dies.
You set that on.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
she does not die. No. But it is sad because you're just like, oh, well, you know, I guess you're not the fastest car anymore and you're supposed to be the fastest. And
yeah,
that's your whole shtick. And now you're
His name's Lightning McQueen,
Yeah, Lightning
not
McQueen.
Speed McQueen. Because, see, I always think it's like Steve
Ka-chow.
McQueen. Shoot.
Ka-chow.
Fine. So,
Ka-chow.
ka-chow. So they actually do go and tip a cow. And when they tip the cow, it
No.
splashes mud all over Heather and
She
Veronica.
left.
And Veronica ends up leaving while Heather Yellow seems to be attacked by Ram in the background. And, you know, I didn't realize that before, but I'm watching this movie this night, and, like, he's, like, holding her arms down above her head. I was like, holy cow, this is a horrible scene.
Holy cow.
Holy cow.
Oh,
Boom.
it's not funny.
No.
No, I don't. Yeah,
So-
I didn't like Ram or Kurt.
No.
I was glad when they died.
They're pretty horrible people.
Spoiler alert.
So, yeah, right. Veronica runs into JD, who is not pleased at the situation, but invites Veronica to go get a slushie with him, and they leave. The next day, the yearbook club is prepping, putting a dedication to Heather Red in the yearbook.
Yeah, see, and I would have. Sorry, not to interrupt.
Yeah,
but
you're fine.
I would have been really concerned about why he was there. You know, why he I would have felt like he was stalking me.
Oh,
He's
why
in the
he was
woods.
at the watching them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have, because it feels like a little bit of like jealousy.
Well, it is.
In my
Well, I mean, but
opinion.
think about where they at. I mean, they had a night of strip cocaine and everything like that. He's feeling a
but
little
if
possessive,
she
and then
told
this guy's
him
out with
what was
another.
going she was like, I'm gonna go do this for Heather, but I'm not interested. He knew she wasn't interested, and then she leaves, and he's all like, "Yeah, let's bounce." I would have been like, "Why are you here?"
I don't know, man. Well,
I would have been grateful for getting me out of the situation,
Yeah.
but it would have been something that we would have had to have planned beforehand. If
Oh.
you just showed up like that, knowing where we are in the middle of nowhere, that's not cool.
I got you. Well, it is what it is. He's clearly not all there in his head, so.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
And he's gonna buy me a slushie, so.
hey, it's a win-win. So again, the Veronica shows up to see the oh my gosh, to see the what's going on with the yearbook, and she's not pleased. She hears that a nasty rumor was spread by Kurt about the night before, so Veronica calls him and sets up him and Ram to meet in the woods behind the school the next morning. Basically, she's like, "Oh, the things that you said, you want them to happen?" And she's like, "Oh no, I'm not mad." And then so he's like, "All right." What it turns out to be is that JD and Veronica are going to shoot Ram and Kurt with what JD says are tranquilizer bullets, so that they can humiliate them. Veronica also writes a suicide note for them in Kurt's handwriting, basically saying that they are in love with each other, that they have secret love.
I agree.
Yeah. They also have stuff to plan at the scene to make it look believable. So the next day, the two guys show up and do as Veronica tells them to do. They get ready, and JD steps out and shoots Ram. Like, right in the neck, too, man. It's a nasty shot. Veronica is supposed to shoot Kurt, but she misses, so JD goes after him to get him back. At this time, Veronica seems to be coming to the realization that the bullets are not tranquilizers, and that they may have just killed again. JD chases him back to Veronica, who shoots him, which is pretty messed up because she's realizing what's happened, yet she still does it again. Cops nearby hear the shots and go to check it out. They find the bodies and call it in while Veronica and JD are chased by the second cop.
Yeah, I think in the musical, she shoots Ram, killing him, and JD misses or something like that. But she either doesn't kill any of them, and JD kills both of them, or she kills one of them.
I gotcha.
Yeah, but it's not. He goes and he kills Kurt.
It's not the same order?
Yeah, it's not the same way.
Gotcha. But yeah, he was even like, remember, he's left-handed and put the gun in, and everything like that. Like, I mean,
too know-y.
yeah.
I've seen too many of those like documentaries where it tells you pretty much how
what to do.
Yeah.
So the cop catches up to them, but they are in their car and just look to be making out.
Do you ever get worried that like when you like look things up, you're like, this could be suspicious?
Yeah, I have. I've had stuff in my history, and I've been like, you see on those shows where they're like, well, we looked at his history in his browser, and he'd been looking up this, that, and the other, and you're like, that's just happenstance, bro. That just happened to be like that. It's not. I'm not really looking into this.
Well, sometimes I'm curious. I'm like, well, do people know how to get away with murder? How do you get away with murder? You know, and it's like, well, first you want to take all the teeth out. And melt them down with these like chemicals.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and yeah, like there's that one killer that did them. We talked about this, I think, last episode with some people.
Yeah.
I learned so many facts during the little trend. But yeah, you take these teeth, you take the teeth out, and you melt them down, and you like cut them apart, like some people do, and you take all the bones out, and you melt the bones down as well, and then you like shred the meat.
Oh.
And put it in with pigs.
Yeah, that'll do it.
There's no way to trace it back to you.
Wow.
Because how can you? You can't.
Well, if it's on camera, see, that's the thing that I guess.
Unless it's on camera,
your
or
phone,
the DNA
your
stuff.
phone GPS, cameras. There's always some minuscule. There happened to be a camera that's up the corner of the bank that for some reason was working that day, and they get you. That's how they get you. So
yeah, it's just interesting me to see like stuff like that, and I'm like, oh
yeah.
Or I was on TikTok, and it was a video. Like sometimes I was talking to Mom about this. I was like, I see weird things, like things that like you're like, I don't know if I should be seeing this, so you don't even interact with it. You're like, I don't want to be traced back to this at all.
Skip.
But there was this guy who was showing how to make the chemicals to like
melt the
break
body?
down bones.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, because he was like, but it was like something he disguised. It was like making chicken tenders or something. It was like the captions or whatever. But it was like going through. He's like, yeah, and then you're gonna take this and heat it up to this temperature, and then look what happens. And he put a chicken wing in.
Yeah,
and it melted everything. Like it was like acid. It was horrible. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't need this information. Or do I?
Or do I? Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
So
I'm just waiting for my JD to come along.
Oh my god.
Another one.
Don't say that. You never know who's listening.
Oh no, don't come here.
The cop that stayed with the bodies says that he has all the information that he needs to solve the case.
I don't know, man. If they look like Christian Slater, you know.
I mean, well, you know
as
what?
long as you're like decently attractive.
Love is love, I guess.
Love is love. Love is blind.
Love is blind. The second cop shows back up, and they decide it was a suicide. They were just like, yeah, look, see, here's the proof. Suicide.
They show the cops were high off their donkeys.
Yeah, they were. Because they were. Yeah, they were. Yeah, it's weird. Veronica and JD sit in the school parking lot to discuss
I love this scene.
that they actually killed them and how she feels stupid for believing JD about the bullets being tranquilizers.
And then you try to like explain it. She's like, Mary had a little.
Yeah.
I was laughing. Mary.
Stupid. Yeah, I liked it when she puts the cigarette lighter out in her hand and he lights a cigarette off of it, which was really funny. They also argue about if Veronica actually wanted them dead or not, because he's like, you did want them dead, and that's when she starts doing the Mary Had a Little Lamb and everything like that.
No, and then it shows Heather Duke, and they were like, oh,
yeah,
young love.
Oh, young love. Yep, and then a girl shows up and tells Heather Yellow and Heather Green that the school is canceled due to the two being dead, and Heather Yellow looks less than thrilled.
Yeah, well,
yeah, so that's not good. We then see them at the funeral, and Veronica and JD are yucking it up when a little girl turns around and crying, looking at them.
They were laughing.
They were laughing
horrible.
They were laughing ugly too.
Yeah.
Like they weren't even trying to be. They were just like ha 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 ha.
And then she turns around, she got tear face, and it's like the Eyes of an Angel song starts playing, and it's like, oh.
I also like how they were wearing their helmets and their casket. It was so unnecessary. I was like, what? Why do they have their helmets on? I didn't realize. I think they had footballs in their hands too.
Yep, they did. That was their life.
I know, but still, whatever. That night, Veronica is writing in her diary again, saying that she has no control over herself when she's with JD. The school staff are once again meeting, and the hippie teacher is saying that they need to have a love fest to share everyone's feelings. So the principal lets her run with it. The teacher invites a TV crew to witness everyone's grasping hands. Not gasping hands.
You heard later on the TV where she was like, and the TV crew just happened to show up and capture it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so crappy.
Yeah. Everybody's showing the love. I don't know how big I want to go into this story. Nah, never mind. Well, yeah. When I was in middle school, there was a very unpopular girl who happened to get killed by a drunk driver. And all the popular girls were in the library doing almost the exact same thing. And I was so sickened by them for that reason. I literally was like, you guys were not. And they're like, oh, we feel bad about it. No. You don't get to get out of class and go to the library and have your little feel fest because somebody. No, that's
how I feel
BS.
When we went to last year, when we went to the church, and that one driver showed up.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, why are you here?
Yeah.
You didn't even talk to her. And I was so mad.
Yeah.
And I hate things like that because it for people who are their real friends and really know them and everything, to have these, it's almost like a slap in the face.
Yeah.
It's like, you didn't.
It's like, who are you?
Like, this person hated you. We don't like you.
Don't come and make yourself feel better now. You feel better because you were a crap person to this person. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I hate that.
I digress. So, poor Martha hides under the table to stay out of the limelight, and JD sits down and talks with her. That afternoon, Veronica and JD are talking about what happened at school with the Love Fest and how she thinks it was crap. I also love how the one Heather Green is like running to all of the cameras. They're like, how many channels did you go to? And she keeps showing up on all the channels. JD's dad comes in and shows a video of him blowing up a building, and it seems to give JD an idea. JD also goes on about how his mother purposely went into a building that his father was going to blow up. The song Teenage Suicide comes on the radio, and JD shoots the radio. Veronica says they're breaking up, and JD kind of attacks her, but she escapes and tells him to leave her alone.
It was weird. Like, it kept, like, and that happened a couple of times. Like, he was trying to show her that he loved her.
Yeah, but
like that, and he's like, no, you love me still. I'll show you. And she's like, no, bro, you're crazy.
Yeah.
So.
And he's like, you'll be back. Come back. You'll be back.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, not so much. So JD approaches Heather Green with a picture of her and Martha Dumtruck together and basically blackmails her into doing his bidding. He tells her to take over as the leader of the school and that at some point in time he will ask her for a favor as he needs her strength. Veronica breaks into Heather Red's locker and is feeling bad when Heather Green shows up wearing the red bow, or the hair tie, I guess you'd say. She sees her wearing the red hair tie and is sick-faced about it. Veronica calls up Betty Finn to come over and play croquet and hang out. The other two Heathers show up and Betty takes off. Like, she's like, I gotta go. She has no time to be there with those girls. No. We then see Martha sitting in the gym alone and looking sad. She spills her drink all over herself and looks to be done with life in general. Veronica's parents are watching the video that the hippie teacher made for the media while Martha walks into traffic to commit suicide. Veronica gives her parents a ration for watching the tripe that her mother goes off. Like, because she's like, how can you sit here and watch this stuff? And her mother's like, who are you? Most kids get upset for being that they want to be treated for adults when they're being treated like adults. But then she's like, oh, are you okay? Like, it was just really weird, like how her whole thing happened. Heather shows up and tells Veronica that Martha tried to commit suicide but failed like a loser, and Veronica smacks her up, like proper, right in the face. Later, they listen to a radio show called Hot Probs, and Heather Yellow calls in, but says her name is Madonna, and then says, no, her name is Tweety. She goes on about how she thinks that she is cursed, and how her life is a mess. Heather Green says they are going to crucify her at school the next day. We see that Heather Green has basically taken Heather Red's place socially. Heather Yellow goes to the bathroom and Veronica finds her trying to overdose on sleeping pills. Veronica stops her and they have a bit of a friendly moment, which I thought was nice because Heather Yellow is not really a horrible person.
No.
She's just a Heather, but she's not necessarily the brightest girl, but she's not necessarily mean. And I like that, but she's definitely a follower. JD gives Heather Green the pictures of her and Martha to burn if she will get everyone in the school to sign a petition. So she works on that while basking in the glory of being popular, and like just officially like the only popular person in the school. Veronica finds her and they discuss the petition and how people are signing it for different reasons. Heather Green says that it was JD's idea for the petition and that she should just sign it. JD shows up and asks if Veronica wants to go out that night, and instead she says that she was thinking of killing Heather Green and making it look like a suicide. JD acts as if they're back together, but Veronica elbows him and runs off. When Veronica gets home, her parents are sitting weirdly and talk to her about how she thinks she is thinking about killing herself. Like, she comes home and they're just sitting there like really worried faced. They also produce a note that has her handwriting in it that JD did, because it says recognize the handwriting. And I'm assuming it's hers because it's big and ugly.
Yeah.
We see JD sitting outside of Veronica's house and then reading her a line from Moby Dick, because he comes into her, like, by her bed, and that he got from Heather Green because she had said she doesn't need that anymore, and he was like,
yeah. So
underlining lines.
This was interesting because in the musical,
yeah,
she comes home and she's like, the parents are like, oh, your friend JD stopped by and he showed us your copy of Moby Dick and we're really worried. And then like there's a whole thing where Heather Red is like a ghost that talks to Heather throughout the musical. And she's like, oh, he's got your handwriting down. And she's like, oh, shoot. And then, like, there's people in the background. Like, there's, like, bum, bum, ba-da-da-da. But it's like, JD coming up through her stairs. And, like, oh, no, he's climbing the wall. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And she's, like, running through whatever. And she locks herself in the room and then does it like that. Like, she's in the closet. And so he gets into her room. And he's doing this whole speech like he does here, except he doesn't see her.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, here's the letter. And here it is. So he's like, open the door. And he's like, I'm gonna count to 3. And then he shoots the knob off. And then he sees that she's dead. And then it's all like, well, I didn't want to do this alone, but I guess I have no choice now. But they use lines from the movie, like, our love is God, he says, or bring marshmallows, we'll make s'mores. And he says, so it's very interesting. I like how it all ties in.
That's cool.
It's a good way to set it up without copying directly from it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, doing the best you can.
So they have a discussion about JD being crazy and then show up at Heather Green's house. Like, all of a sudden they're just there. Mm-hmm. He gets a knife and cleans it and then goes to kill Heather Green. Veronica says she will not write a suicide note, but JD just forces her hand right and just like puts it in her hands, just like, life sucks. And says that's enough. He runs to Heather Green's bedroom and Veronica chases but can't get in. We are then at Heather Green's funeral, which is all weird, and everyone is wearing 3D glasses and strange outfits. Yeah. And I was like, oh, weird. As Veronica stands in the back, Heather Red shows up and says that her funeral was much better and much bigger. Like, at least 70 some more people showed up for hers. She then says that she made Veronica's favorite spaghetti and then shoves Veronica's face in it. Veronica springs awake, and we see that this segment was just a dream. But pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So Veronica decides to write a last entry into her diary and acts as if she is going to kill herself. We see JD come in up the window, and we see Veronica is hanging from the ceiling. Like, she looks dead. He goes on about how he loved her and can't believe she did this, even though he was coming to kill her.
Well, he was like, well, at first I was going to try and convince you one last time. Yeah. And then I was going to kill you.
Right. He also goes on about what the petition is really for. It's basically a mass suicide note that everyone signed. He plans on blowing up the school at the pep rally that is planned really the next day.
If, like, a couple kids just stayed homesick, you know? Yeah,
true. He does seem relatively upset that she is dead, but leaves, and her mother comes in and finds her hanging there. The mother's like, oh, I didn't want to let you take the job at the mall. Because I was like, well, I mean, how would you act when you just find your kid sitting there hanging?
I'm talking about some job at a mall.
Yeah.
I guess everyone mourned differently.
Yeah. Veronica then looks up, and we see that she had tied herself up around the waist to make it look like she had killed herself. JD is making bombs and sets them all around the gym where the pep rally will be held. as well as in the boiler room. Everyone is released to the pep rally, and Veronica realizes what JD is doing. She catches JD in the boiler room, and he is surprised to see her alive. She holds him at gunpoint, but he attacks her and gets the gun after he knocks her out. The pep rally goes on, and Veronica comes to and bashes JD with a fire extinguisher. They fight, and she gets away and grabs the gun, which is a huge gun. Like, it's a handgun, but it's like, I don't know guns, but it's big. JD runs away, but Veronica catches him, and they talk about turning off the bomb. Veronica says it's over and shoots off JD's middle finger when he gives her the finger. He just shoots the thing off.
Yeah.
JD goes on about how he has some type of boo-hoo story as to why he is blowing up the school. He's like, nobody loves me and everything else. And I'm like, man, you are really a sick. Like, you really do have problems.
Yeah.
Veronica still goes on about stopping the bomb, and JD says to press the middle button to stop the bomb. But then he lunges at Veronica. She shoots him, and he stabs the bomb with the knife that he had in his hand, stopping it at 4 seconds. Veronica walks out of the gym, and a few seconds later, JD walks out as well, which I was like, oh, dude was just shut up.
How did he get out of the boiler room the same way she went out and nobody noticed him, all bleeding and busted, you know?
Yeah, you would have thought
There's
that.
no way.
And also the timing for him to have unstrapped the bomb. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's movie magic, as we always say.
Yeah.
He has the bomb strapped to himself and asks Veronica a bit of a lunchtime poll question, which she does not answer. Instead, Veronica puts a cigarette in her mouth and stands there while JD blows himself up. We hear the explosion from inside the gym and then see Veronica all blackened up from the explosion. She's all burnt up. It's funny. Veronica finds Heather Green in the hall and takes the red hair tie out of her hair and ties her own hair and says there's a new sheriff in town.
Yeah.
She also kisses her on the cheek, makes her all black on the cheek.
The lines like, you look like hell, and I just got back. That's in the musical too.
She said, yeah, you look like you. She's like, I just got back. She then goes.
She's Southern. When you put an accent on it. I just got back.
Because I guess, I don't know. New sheriff in town.
Is that a new shtick?
Yeah, it's my shtick. She then goes and finds Martha and asks if she wants to hang out on prom night since her date flaked. And Martha says she would like that. And then the credits basically roll, playing that song that I sang at the beginning. And that's pretty much how the movie ends. So, your overall thoughts on the film and the experience?
Sorry, I was trying to think of a song. Oh, yeah. Don't you forget about me.
That is a very different movie. Breakfast Club, you freak.
It's a high school movie.
That's true. Okay, so they're in high school.
Yeah.
It's got that, so you're good to go.
I like this. I liked watching this again.
Yeah.
Now that I'm older, it's been a while. But there is a lot of swearing.
Oh my gosh.
And I want to say that swearing does not equal funny to me for some of the times. And it seemed like that was what some of it was supposed to be.
Really?
Yeah. It seemed like a lot of it was like it was like pop 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 pop.
Yeah.
And it was like I get one thing to use swearing as a part of speech to emphasize something.
Yeah.
But the emphasize part goes away if you're just saying it randomly.
I was all of about 11 or 12, I'd say 11 years old when this came out. Mm. And I genuinely just thought this is how people in high school were. Like, I thought this was high school because they're in high school. So I just thought, I was like, wow, it's so different in high school with how these people talk all the time, especially with this language. And like I said, we did pick up a couple of the
when I was
phrases.
Younger, like before, like I want to say like
we only said it to each other.
Sixth grade and below, or 7th grade too. No, well, I met the boys in 7th grade. I did not find swearing attractive or appealing.
Yeah.
I thought it was gross and unneeded. And I thought, oh, he agrees.
Okay.
And because Justin would swear a lot around us, and I was like, you just sound stupid.
Yeah.
You know, and you just don't sound good. It's not needed. And then I met my guy friends.
Yeah.
And the way they used it was in a sense of where it was funnier.
I got you.
So I started doing it like that. And it was funny to me to do it. but I don't just F this, F that, F whatever. You know, I don't do that.
You don't just swear to swear.
I just don't swear to swear.
Yeah, I don't want to say that I think there's appropriate times, but I think there's appropriate time. I think there's times when you can swear and whatever, and then I think there's people that it's just like pop, pop, beep, 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 and you're just like, bruh, enough.
Yeah, because I think it kind of makes you look. It makes you look stupid. It makes you look like you don't have enough vocabulary.
It's like an uneducation.
Education,
thing.
yeah.
Yep, I agree.
So,
yeah, but these people, what I give them is that their cussing was creative. Like, they didn't just say,
I don't know. To me, it was a lot of F this,
They
F
just,
that.
you know, it was, I don't know, man.
But
It just seemed, it was at least a little bit more dialogue to it, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I definitely, so that doesn't happen in the play?
no,
Oh, wow.
I don't think there's like any
Anything in the
swearing.
play?
Yeah,
That's cool.
or the musical.
Musical, I'm sorry. I said play.
Favorite character?
My favorite character, sadly, is JD. As dark and sick as that is, I just like the kid. I at this point in time, you know, he's like, screw the world, and I get that. So you?
Mine was Veronica.
Veronica's your favorite
Because she got
character.
that. It was at the point where because like I think that in the situation, if I was in her situation, I would have let the Heather thing go. I would have let it slide. It would have haunted me.
Yeah.
But I would have let it slide. I would have been like, okay, this is just something we'll have to deal with. We will just never talk about it. It never happens again. And then the Ram thing happened, and she went with it. And you could tell there was like a part of her that wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But then after that, she was like, no more.
Yeah.
This is not okay. And it's like, you are crazy. So I appreciate that part of it. And she kind of just seemed like to take things really.
I got you.
So
She definitely had a character development from where you see where she was, why she was where she was in her station in life, but that she wasn't really, like, she even says it. She's like, it's a job that I go to, and I don't really like the people that I work with. Like, she realizes that this whole social thing is not what she thought it was going to be. And she's welcome to go back to what it was with Betty Finn. She doesn't care.
yeah.
She realizes it doesn't matter. It's just high school. Once, but I think
And that is one of the most important things to realize while you're in high school is that it does not matter.
yeah.
You know, who you're hanging around, because people change so quickly. And once you find a good group of people and you can just be yourself, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And you just want it. I mean, it's just
See, I had that
wanting
too.
to be like, I mean, like having, because I used to doubt a lot of my friendships. We talked about it quite a lot. How I'd feel like people didn't really want me around.
Yeah.
And that like people really only like me for my personality for the most part, but sometimes I can be a lot for some people.
Yeah.
So sometimes I would often doubt my relationship with my friends because like they would do things together and I wouldn't be invited. But I have where these people are calling me at like 10 o'clock at night and being like, "What are you doing right now? You just want to drive around for a little bit?
Yeah.
Listen to music?" I mean, I just love that. And that's the kind of stories I want to tell my kids, my friends, when I'm much older. You know, you're like, yeah, you know, I had friends. I want this to be their blueprint. I want to be able to be like, you want to find friends like this, you know? Instead of being like, oh no, I had a couple friends and we did something sometimes and our birthday parties and yeah, that was it. I have crazy stories.
That's cool. That's very cool. Your least favorite character?
Mine was Heather Duke. Green Heather.
Green Heather. I get that. My I guess mine was Heather Yellow.
You didn't
the
like
second
it?
one.
You just said you didn't have any problem with her.
No, well, least favorite character because she's just a go along. She's a good person. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying, it's character wise, as in what we've talked about this before with what we think of a good character versus what's least favorite. I just didn't like that she was in the popular, but she was just such a sheep with what she does, and that she would go along with the guy. I mean, she's just not a strong character, a strong person. She's okay.
Yeah.
But she need. I mean, what happened with her in that field is that's wrong. You need to press charges. Not just let that roll through and be like, oh, I'm going to call into a radio station.
They died, so I mean, what are you going to do? Like the day after, not even 24 hours that happened.
Yeah. All right.
But favorite scene.
Favorite scene, is probably because it has a cow in it. When the cow gets tipped and then mud's all over him, that would probably be up there with favorite scenes. Just that little part, just the part where they're just sitting there laughing and they're tipping, they tip the cow. But after that, immediately after that, and everything like that, no, I'm not. That's not a favorite scene. Mm-hmm. For you?
Actually killing Kurt and Ram.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because the whole thing to me was so weird. I mean, how are you as officers or detectives going to see like the two holes in this, like the land, and be like, no, that's normal. This doesn't look set up at all.
Oh yeah, with the circles and all that stuff. Yeah.
So, what was your move rating?
This was a 3 for me. It's a 3. I love the movie from my childhood. I can watch it through for 2 hours and it'd be fast. But it's a 3.
Yeah.
For you?
A 4.
Really?
Yeah, I had to take a point off because there's not like the actual story part of it.
Yeah.
Isn't too wow. But I like the characters and I like the dialogue for the most part.
Yeah.
And it's one of those movies I can just watch over and over and over again.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, and again, me too. That's what I'm saying. If it's on, well, I don't know if it was on TV because it would be so cut. If they just bleeped it out instead of trying to put something. I really hate when movies try and insert another word for the word. Mm-hmm. That bothers me. I don't need to be like, what the heck was that? Just what the, and just leave it blank. That's really okay with me. So yeah, they would really chop it up. But if it's on, I owning it. If somebody was like, hey, you want to watch Heather? Yeah, go ahead and pop it in. I don't mind watching it again and again. Which again, I mean, I don't want to say it was ahead of its time, but that almost feels appropriate. A lot
of my generation really likes the movie.
Yeah, but I'm just saying 89 was a weird time as it was. Like, it almost ushered in, I want to say Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure came out similar as well. And that whole way of how they talked was weird for people. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like they were like these,
oh yeah,
whoa, what is it? Whoa, yeah, and it came out in 89. And so yeah, same year as this came out, and you see these people that you don't necessarily can't relate with. And I think that might have been a big thing with this with Heather's as well, because God, these people were rich. I can't relate to rich. They obviously had so much money, and even the people that work in the school seem to have so much money because everybody was just like, oh, we're so whatever. We need to have a love fest and blah, blah, blah. So, but had this movie come out like 2 years later than what it was, I think it might have done a lot better. So, all right. You ready for some trivia?
Yeah, hit me up.
Alrighty. So, Christian Slater has stated that his performance was heavily inspired by Jack Nicholson. He claims that he wrote a letter to Nicholson asking him to watch the film, but he didn't receive an answer. So you think about who Jack Nicholson is, like in The Shining. Like think about about how he's crazy and this, that, and the other, and he's just kind of like. So think about that and the way that he, like, even how he does his eyebrows and he.
Oh yeah.
Like, like his mannerisms and everything. I definitely saw when I read that, and I was like, oh, you know what? I see it. The role of Heather McNamara was originally offered to 17-year-old Heather Graham, but Heather's parents refused to let her take the role because of the dark subject matter. Do you remember License to Drive? Mm-hmm. The girl in License to Drive that's in the trunk? That's Heather Graham.
Oh.
Yep. So she was originally offered it, and
The one that dances on his car.
Yeah, and the parents were like, yeah, no. Which is really funny because Heather Graham was then in a movie called Boogie Nights, and if you know anything about Boogie Nights, it's about the porn industry.
Oh.
So it's like, well...
Maybe they got tight on money.
This movie has nothing on that. That movie is dark, and a different type of dark. Brad Pitt auditioned for the role of JD, but he was rejected because he was considered too nice. Funny enough, Brad Pitt would later star with Christian Slater in Interview with a Vampire. So, just as a little, how do you do?
That's cool.
The bedrooms of Heather McNamara and Veronica were sets built in the gym of the school they used in the film.
I mean, that's how you're going to save money, you know?
It's just really weird, isn't it? The role of Veronica was intended for Jennifer Connelly, who turned it down. And you know who that is, right? The girl from Labyrinth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I love, oh my gosh, Winona Ryder.
Yeah,
I love her, so.
But yeah, it was originally
I think
supposed
she
to be
did
Jennifer
a really
Connelly.
job.
Labyrinth girl. So, Jennifer Rhodes, that played Veronica Sawyer's mother, the U2 lady. She later played Shannon Doherty's grandmother in Charmed. Remember the show?
I remember,
Charmed?
yeah, that's what I knew her from.
Yeah. When I always thought that was funny because I was, Grams, you know.
Yeah.
And Jim Carrey, Judd Nelson, which was funny that you said Breakfast Club, and Jason Bateman all were considered for the role of JD. Jim Carrey, again, he's always considered for these roles. Like, throughout the 80s.
He's got the face for it.
He's just always considered for all these different roles, but he never really got them. It's just always funny when I see his name pop up. Like, he was auditioning, like, he must have made final cuts so many times.
Yeah.
Because he was considered for it. So, what else do you got?
I don't have anything else.
All right. Well, then we're going to wrap this up tonight. I'd like to thank everyone for stopping by and listening to our 39th episode. We definitely appreciate it more than you could imagine. Of course, the best way you can say that you love us is to give us a good old 5-star review on iTunes. Not begging, just saying if you're ever sitting there wondering.
I'm begging.
Oh, well, never mind. We're begging. You can email us at the yesdoyourpodcast@gmail.com. Twitter is twitter.com/yesdoyourpcast. Instagram.com/yesdoyourpodcast. Facebook is facebook.com/yesdoyourpodcast. We do have the Truffle Shufflers, which is our Facebook group. Our secret question is the host names, James and Beth. Please be sure to answer that, and that you're not going to put anything crazy in there. We have our awesome website, which is the yesdoyourpodcast.com. You can find links to shows. You can leave us voicemails. We have our links to our products, our affiliates, like Potato Parcel or TeePublic. You can hit both those up, and if you use the links that are on the webpage, then you get percents off, and you also help us out. Shout out, don't forget about our Patreon, which is patreon.com/the nostalgia group if you'd like to support us that way. Shout out to Greg Revan for our intro and outro music, and as always, we love you, and say goodnight, Beth.
Good night, everyone.